We in the building. What's up, everybody? I see the comment section is absolutely packed. And look, I think my screen froze. Hold up.
No, it ain't freeze. That's
Did I-
just Tim froze.
There you go. All right,
Tim froze with that dumb smack look on his face.
Listen, it froze because B was so hot. He was cold. If you can imagine what that means, he was so hot. He was freezing. It was crazy. Yo, listen. This may be. I got the hoodie. Remember Hoodie Mello a couple years ago when Hoodie Mello entered the building and he was unstoppable for a minute. This was Hoodie Beat night. This had to been the most dominant performance by far this year. This may have been the most dominant performance by anybody in the NBA in quite some time. I mean, you're talking about from an offensive and defensive standpoint. This was incredible. Let me take the hood off. It's getting a little hot in the house. This was incredible. I did it for effect. But this game was incredible. It meant a lot to me on so many reasons, for so many different reasons. For one, I told y'all last night Embiid is my second best player behind y'all know who. So this made me happy just watching Embiid really do his thing, play unstoppable. He played the way that I've been telling. I think he probably listened to the podcast a couple of times because I told him to keep passing, keep the ball moving. Remember how we did Ben? Me and Ethan did Ben last year and got the best out of Ben 2 years ago, rather. I did the same thing for B.
He's been on the podcast often enough lately for him to be listening to you.
I said keep the ball moving, keep it hot, be very quick with your decisions. And he was on fire. And this also helped out my other team, my other man, Curry, Golden State, because not Minnesota. Now Utah got a loss, so now they dropped it.
All right, come on. Next, it was pro turn. Next, he's gonna start a whole 2-minute dialogue and try to put Steph Curry in them.
No, I'm just saying help them climb the rank. Oh, let me say this. Now, yesterday I went on record to say that Curry was the best player in the NBA. After the last 6 games, especially last 2, he been crazy. What they say, white hot, like they say in Miami. His last 6 games, he's averaging 36 points a game. I got to check what his field goal percentage is and all that over the last 6 games, but he's been on fire. He's been on fire. Tim.
Oh, but people was hating on him the last couple games though. Before the last game.
No, say his name. Say his name. Tim.
It wasn't just Tim.
It was a couple people in the comments section. We got to find out who they are.
It was also the other person that's not here tonight.
Ethan.
Trade Embiid. We could trade. What was it? Trade Embiid for Ayton, and we just need a center like Ayton because it's a small man league, and we don't need
now under a rock. He's now under a rock. Ethan's now under a rock somewhere hot and.
And guess what? As brought out in the comments, this is a back-to-back. Mm-hmm. Wait, ho, Master Crap. It was all who? Oh, okay.
No. MOC, it wasn't.
All y'all.
It wasn't. All y'all. I've been consistent. Me and Wayne been consistent. I always like Joel Embiid. All I said was he needs to make quicker decisions. That's all I ever said with my criticism of Embiid. And actually, that's what he's been doing the last couple games, and he's been incredible. And at this moment, everybody, we would like to call Timothy.
Wait, hold. Entertainment. Embiid scored all his points. No, he scored 26 in the fourth quarter. But so that means he scored another, 30 something in the other quarters. So
he had more than half our points. That in itself.
Yeah. So he scored 26 in the fourth, but he was unstoppable all night. It wasn't just the fourth quarter, and the fourth quarter was the most important time.
Don't take this moment away. We need Tim to do some penance. He's trying to hide. He's trying to hide in plain sight, and we're not going to have it tonight. Tim, come to the front and announce yourself and make it clear that you got some splaining to do.
Listen, I already told y'all from the door that Embiid was the best center in the league, and y'all forgot that I said that. I said he was the best player by far.
MOTC, did he say that?
Because I think all y'all was saying Joker was better.
No. Here in our reality, I can't hate on the man.
I may have said that in a moment of weakness. I think Ethan and Tim pulled me into their foolishness, and I apologize. I would like to go on record with an apology. Tim, I'm sorry.
He balled out. He had an excellent game, start to finish. Even this is not a shot at him, but he had 5 turnovers in the first half.
There we go.
However, he didn't turn the ball over not one time in the second half. He had those 5 turnovers in the first half, and that second half was flawless. He had a flawless second half. He willed that team to victory today. So I got to give that man his props. He almost had a quadruple double.
Yes, he did.
Before we started the game, at the end of the game, even Woj, he tweeted out. He tweeted out his stats. When you get a tweet from Woj, you know you balled out for that. So no hate.
Hey, Kurt's Classic made a good point too. The Sixers beat the best team in the West twice. Remember how y'all talking about the Sixers? I don't know about the Sixers. It's gonna be bad year. And like I said, calm down, because Maxey had a solid game too. It's overshadowed because Embiid was dominant. But when if Maxey ever could start getting his game right, and how Harden comes back, and we have Embiid that we have. We beating anybody.
I mean, I can't argue against that. I can't. Carr. I don't know whoever said. Tim, I think that's your mic. My echo day is over. I have a no mic.
Hold on, let me see. Let me test it. I don't hear echo. Is me echoing?
I heard an echo. There, it kind of comes and goes. I don't know who it is, but I think it's Tim. I'm gonna blame him for the night because he hates me.
I think it's Wayne because it's only echoing when me and Ephraim talk. So it gotta be Wayne.
When did mine switch?
Tim, mute your mic real quick. Let's see. Hello. Wayne,
hello.
Mute. You got muted real fast. Tim, I'm mute.
I'm unmuted.
Hello.
Yeah,
it was Wayne.
All right,
Wayne, now unmuted. It might have passed. Sometimes I don't know. In all honesty, y'all, I think it's this platform that we on. Sometimes it comes and goes. It's weird like that. I'm muted now, Wayne. You probably good. Nah,
we're gonna keep Wayne muted for the rest of the night.
Wayne cannot keep himself muted. Hey, Carr, I don't know who. Carr said, "Let's mute Tim permanently." Carr, I don't know who said get the keys to Maxey. I think
Ethan and Tim.
I think in a moment of weakness, I may have said that at one time in a moment of panic. See, sometimes you gotta remember, as Sixers fans and as light-skinned boys can be very emotional at times. Y'all do know this. So I may have allowed myself to be pulled into the foolishness of Ethan and Tim. But I have seen the light now. I've seen the light. And I always first of all, let me be clear about this. Embiid has always been one of my favorite players, my second favorite player in the league since he came on to the Sixers. And Wayne can vouch for this. I've been talking about Embiid. I remember we first got him with Wayne. Was hating on Embiid a little bit, not hating on the skill, but this when Embiid used to get hurt a lot. And when he got the first couple of years of Wayne, everybody was concerned whether he was going to play. And I said, when this dude hits the floor, it's going to be over. And sure enough, when he hit the floor, it's been over ever since. He's been balling. And tonight's performance was for the record books. Incredible. You will not, man. I will beg to argue you're smoking if you good as this for the rest of the year.
You're smoking if you don't. Anybody that
was playing the Utah Jazz and we was playing, they didn't have anybody. They didn't send no double. That coach, he's a rookie coach. Ain't nowhere in the world you going to leave him.
So Utah Jazz wasn't 10-3.
The Utah Jazz is the best team in the West tonight. Coming in the game,
they beat everybody.
They still don't got nobody to match up.
Man, stop it! I don't want to hear that.
They didn't have nobody. You gonna sit there and say they had one person to match him? They didn't double him at all. They let him. He was pretty much shooting whatever.
So we don't say that, but we don't say that when Giannis go dunking on everybody and he run up 45 and 48 and 50 in the finals. Nobody's saying about that.
I'm not hating. What I'm saying is,
I hear hate in your voice.
Go.
Is it me, y'all? Do y'all hear MOC? Carr, do y'all hear hate in his voice? Is this
listen? No. If you don't see this, hold on. Let's regulate some stuff here. MOC, I get it. You're a big B fan. I am too. B's my favorite player in the league right now. But if you don't think we need James Harden, what have you been looking at the last 2 years? We don't see. Sometimes we get caught up in the stuff when we see Maxey have a big game or B have a big game, and then we sit there and say, "Oh, we don't need B because Maxey and Harden can carry the load."
Put that up.
Or we see B ball like this, and it's like we don't need Harden. No, you do. That's why we have them. We need those players. When you're going to go in a playoff run and try to win a championship, you need more than just one player that can ball out. You need those multiple players,
especially considering that we had had 0 points today. I started small power forward, PJ Tucker. And then and then I think Thibault didn't have any points. We didn't get any points from two starting positions today. So we needed every point from Joel Embiid. Every last one of them was needed, was required. And he delivered. We at one point we was down 14 points in the second quarter. So when he went out the game, and then a moment, that's why I was like, okay, Paul Reed was not it. This wasn't a game for Paul Reed. Which Doc made a good decision of getting him out of here and putting in the other bull, Harold. And Harold was able to supply energy and make some good buckets. So that was Doc coached a good game as well today. I have to give him his props. A lot of times he was slipping late.
I agree with that.
But today he did well. He made in-game adjustments, which he hasn't been doing lately.
You know what's crazy about this game tonight? The Sixers stunk from 3-pointers. But B carried. Hold on. I know he was total, we shot 4 for 23 from 3-pointers.
That's terrible. Yeah, that's 17%. That's terrible. Terrible.
We shot 17% from 3.
And Maxey led the charge with 2 for 8. That's not good for Maxey.
Maxey been struggling the last couple of games.
Last game he played well, but outside of last game, out of the last 5 games, he had like one good game for
yeah, I don't know what's going on. All that work you put in this offseason, I was expecting this.
You know what's going on? I can tell you what's going on.
What's that?
It makes a difference when defense is and this is what I've been consistently saying about Maxey. I like Maxey game. I like his potential and everything else, but he has to. It makes a difference when the team's focused on you. Like you have some guys that can get points and get buckets, this, that, and other. But then when it's on the focus for them to be that person, like Phil Evans said, he's not a superstar, and he's not.
I think it's more important is Harden. I agree.
I think it's more of the Harden effect. I think he's trying. When it's hard, it's very hard to be a point guard.
Didn't he have his best stuff when Harden was playing at the end of last year?
I'm talking about consistently. It's hard to be a point guard and a playmaker for yourself. So some of that you're saying is true. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong, Wayne, by no means. It's definitely harder when people start cheating on you. Yes. That now you have to break through a whole nother level of balling when you're now the focal point and when dudes know you could ball and they start rolling defenses towards your way and putting the best defensive player on you. Now it changes something. But I also think the Harden effect is huge because trying to be a point guard and trying to facilitate for yourself.
You're saying the Harden effect, the fact that Harden's not in there.
Yes.
Oh, no. I agree.
Yes.
That was my point. He just echoing it, by the way. But
no. It was your point first. I give you that.
It's been real consistent with Harden.
You have said that. Because you also hated on B, so let's talk about that.
No, we don't need to hate on B. But I'm saying though, even like if Jordan was playing, let's say if Jordan is the starting shooting guard all these years, but all of a sudden he got to play point guard now. That's a little different.
It's harder, yeah. It's hard to create for other people and yourself. It's not many people who have mastered that talent. It's something you got to do for a long time to be able to really to be able to do it effectively. I mean, you got some dudes who can, you know what I'm saying, but that's hard. That's very hard to do, and you can see it having a little bit of an effect on him. To be honest with you, and he does need Harden in that lineup to really get his game up. Yeah. But I mean. If B keep playing like this, B to me is playing at the level I think most of us, at least, he showed glimpses that he could play at this level, and now he's doing it consistently with making these. I only seen him probably maybe this game, especially the fourth quarter, maybe twice. I think he held the ball a little longer. It was one play he was it was like a double team. He took forever to pass a double team. He finally did, but for the most part. His decision making
real nice for a quick pass down low. I think it was Melton or somebody. Yeah. I was like, I had to give him his props. Like, Embiid got it going on. And mentally,
he's been making some break. Yes, he has. I've been impressed. And Toby, yesterday he played a solid game. Second half was a little subpar, but tonight it wasn't him at all. He was 4 for 12, 33%. That's not good at all. Again, he missed some lead. He misses. I promise you. If it's a stat tracker on this, Toby missed the most layups out of anybody in the NBA. I'm convinced.
You don't think Westbrook will be up there with him?
Okay, Westbrook 1, Toby 2. I need that. Westbrook 1, Toby 2. I'm telling you.
But I also think that I think it's a hard effect for everybody on this team. I think Embiid has to work harder for his. Everybody has to work harder. I think Toby starting the season off was shooting like 40% from 3, and a lot of that had to do with him having wide open, just catch and shoot three-pointer attempts. And I think Maxey actually had a lot of 3-point attempts early on, but he just was off. Like if we keep it in the beam, Maxey had good open shots the first few games of the year and stuff. He just wasn't hitting them. So that's what I'm saying. I'm confident when this whole team gets back together. The biggest question mark to me is Doc.
No, the biggest question mark is still that wing position. Always will be. When we play
Toby.
Because we can't have nobody to defend their wings, and most teams have a great wing, and we'll have those athletic wings. That's going to be our Achilles heel.
I'm seeing a lot of. I can't disagree with that, Tim. I do think we could overcome that with Harden in the lineup. I see a lot of people in the comment section talking about PJ shouldn't be starting. I don't mind. Well, especially with Harden in the lineup, I don't mind PJ not starting. At a certain point in time, everybody can't be scorers anyway. PJ can hit the open shot if left open if necessary, but he's a defensive and rebounding dude. I mean, the numbers haven't really translated, but he's also a high energy and emotion dude too. So
is Thibault out for him?
I would consider putting Thibault in there for.
But Thibault,
I would prefer putting the power.
Thibault gonna do better than Tucker. It ain't like Thibault can score either.
But Thibault's a little better.
But Thibault,
like for
at any point you could put Thibault on their best wing player or best guard, and you can't do that with Tucker.
So
I agree with that.
He's going to follow him on 3-point play, and it's going to be a 4-point play.
That's true. So what are you saying? So who you want, Tucker? Or you want Thibault? Thibault will give up the occasional stupid foul, and I don't want to hold his pass against him forever. But every now and then he does. He plays a little too aggressive. He tries to block every shot, even if he tries to jump on the side of the player and swipe it. And sometimes that causes they get them fouls on him, and they get the 3-point play or the 4-point play or whatever.
Honestly, I don't think anybody holds Embiid back. I don't necessarily think Brett was holding Embiid back.
Right.
What'd you say?
Get them likes up. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I don't think injuries might have been what held B back, but anybody sitting there thinking like Harden's holding B back. Again, it's a long season, and we've seen B carry the team and put all these points up, but that wears on you throughout the year. This is why you have to have good teams to win a championship, not just a good player, because at certain points you are going to have to pace yourself. You can't have Embiid having to come out here and score 30, 35 points a night just in order for us to win, because that's not going to happen in the playoffs when you play against the better teams. So you need to have other people. You need to have you have your stars out there. Then you'll have the guys like Tobias could get an open three. You have even PJ might hit an occasional three. You had other guys coming in, House and all them hit occasional threes, like open shots. And your superstars is who get your role players those open shots.
No, I agree with that.
I like PJ in there because we talked about this last year a lot. You do.
Hold real quick, Mastercraft asked a question. Before Harden got here, Embiid was the same place he always been. And in the second round, he couldn't get past it. Yep. Yes, that's why Harden is here to help us to get over that hump.
Yeah,
that's the goal. That's the game plan. I will say Harden came back in this year looking in shape. He looked like Houston Harden.
I hope he's okay. Like ain't eating since he's been in that boot.
That is a possibility because he's had a month off. So hopefully he's still training. Hopefully he's still dieting right, eating right. So when he come back, he picks up where he left off and don't go back to the Harden. I will say this about PJ Tucker though. Mm-hmm. We talked about Thibault last year and our defense in general last year being too soft, too sweet, and not having nobody to be an enforcer. We do need somebody with that black Air Force One energy. And the bull PJ Tucker brings that type of nastiness to your team. So I know yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm cool. If you want to say bench him for Trez and bring Trez in and all that, I'm fine with that. I'm just not saying Thibault. Thibault's a good defender, but we need somebody with a little bit of that nastiness. We talked about this. We talked about how Milwaukee had what's the bull name? Bobby Portis, and all this stuff like that. Mm-hmm. We talked about how Golden State got Draymond. You need somebody with a little bit of that oomph in you to help you get emotionally charged up when you down, and sometimes to be a little bit of the goon. That's PJ. He bringing that black Air Force One energy, and that's what you need.
Yeah. They asked Tyrese Maxey at the press conference. He said, if anyone asks any questions that aren't about Joel, I'm not answering.
Who said that?
He said, I'm only talking about Joel tonight.
Yeah.
Who said that?
Maxey.
Oh, I respect that.
That's because Maxey don't want to talk about his shooting.
Yeah. Doc said that the backup center situation is still fluid. He said he would like for one of want either Paul Reed or Montrez to take the spot, but neither has thus far. I agree with that. Neither one has solidified themselves as, okay, this is my position. I'm coming in. So they got to keep rotating until one of them claim it. I do agree with that.
I do want somebody playing that power forward position. And this is why I would prefer Paul Reed. For one, I think Paul Reed can end up being that kind of player you're talking about because he already got some of that goonish type tendencies in him. You know what I'm saying? Not saying he's a goon, but he got those type tendencies. And he can actually dunk the ball. Like I don't know why it bugs the bejesus out of me when Embiid has it on the high post and drops it down there to Tucker, and he got to like flink up this little floater type thing. Like I want my power forward to catch it if nobody on you catch it and flush it.
But that's the challenge you run into with him being 6'6". Because most power forwards is running around about 6'10", or at least 6'9", probably 6'8" and up, anywhere between 6'8", 6'10". Them couple inches kind of matter when you down low and you got to go up on somebody and stuff that thing on their head. That don't. I mean, even with Draymond, as aggressive as Draymond is, he don't get a lot of dunks underneath the basket. He gets some of the ones on a run. But coming up and just trying to slam on somebody, that ain't easy at 6'6" down in the block.
Right.
So I agree with that.
Philly J, I agree. Paul Reed, Paul Reed just does dumb things at times. He does a lot of dumb stuff.
He's scared to me.
I don't think it's necessarily scared. I just think
confident. I think his confidence ain't there.
He don't know the balance. He'll play unsure, but then it's like when he play with the confidence, he plays dumb. So I think his unsureness that's his thought process. That's some thinking. The wheels I can actually smell the train smoke when he's trying to think about what he's supposed to do right. I can smell it through the TV. He's trying to think about what he's supposed to do. When he just goes out there and play, he does a lot of dumb stuff.
You come up with a different way to call him stupid. And he's not stupid. He just
I'm talking about with basketball IQ. I'm not saying that he's an idiot, that he doesn't understand any. And basketball, sometimes basketball IQ ain't a natural thing with people.
Okay.
I mean, take you for instance.
I kind of agree with Wayne a little bit. Basketball IQ is a little bit different than just regular smart. Sometimes, I mean, especially the NBA, you got to think the game is moving so fast. The game is moving so fast. I forget, I listened to one interview, and he was saying the game from college to the NBA, that was one of the things that, like the NFL, like when you go from the pros to college, the game speeds up 2 times faster than you was used to playing before. So you got to think 2 times faster. Sometimes you ain't thinking quick. You're going to make a bad mistake. You're going to make a bad play. I think that's where you're running into a little bit.
So where do you put this performance of Joel Embiid tonight on an all-time list of 76ers performances? Because it was dominant, and I got to give him his props. I'm not going to sit here and bash this man. This is Joel's night. He almost had 60 points.
Well, I can't put it over any of Allen Iverson 50 points in the playoffs because they was playoff games. So I can't put that over any of AI.
Let's talk regular season.
Now we talking regular season. Okay. Regular season? I mean, I'm sure Wilt probably Wilt was Wilt with the Sixers or with the Warriors? He was with the Sixers too, wasn't he?
A little bit, but it was mostly. I'm talking about we probably the 80s stuff that we know, like 80s and
modern history, modern basketball.
So basically, you just want to put it in the window and want us to say this is the greatest Sixers moment since such and such.
I want to get.
I mean, there's been some great. Barkley has some great games. Yeah. AI has some great games. I mean, where do you rank it? I mean, that Barkley, AI, the doctor, Julius. I mean, where do you put this in them games?
Is it top 10 performers of all time Sixers that you know?
From an offensive
and defensively, he was dominant on both ends of the court. That's the thing. Like you look at one side, and then you looking clearly at the other side, and he was great at both. I mean,
that's what I'm leaning toward. And see that's the echo. Here he is. That echo kind of comes in and goes, and I don't know, it's weird. I don't think nobody might particularly, but this performance, and I agree with Tim, an offensive and defensive perspective may have been the most dominant, at least in the last 20 years. I'll start with that.
Yeah, remind me of that Willie Burton game.
Willie Burt was balling offensively. I don't remember how good defensively he was, but for the fact that he almost had a quadruple double.
Hey, Ephraim, you said the last 20 games. You do realize that Allen Iverson's playoff run, the championship run, was more than 20 years ago. Yeah, so that's easy to say. This definitely the most in the last 20.
Crazy. Ethan, your name was called out a couple times in the courtroom. You now have to take the stand as an eyewitness to your foolishness, is what they were saying in the comment section. So now everybody wants to hear from you as to statements made such as, and I'm gonna just throw out a couple statements and then you tell me, are they true? Do you want to defend yourself, or what you going to do? Some of the statements was made that Embiid needs to be traded for another center because centers can't successfully carry their teams into the playoffs, was yet to be seen. Also, that Maxey should be given the reins as the leader of the team, and I think it was one more that we should trade B for Ayton.
No, that was Tim. That was Tim. I ain't gonna put that on.
Listen. So defend yourself.
See, I don't. Y'all. B had a phenomenal game. Did he have a triple double? He got close.
He got close. He was 2 assists away and 3 blocks.
I'm not going to take nothing away from Joel Embiid tonight. Y'all not going to give me the bad Joel Embiid, but my statement was you can't win it all in this era of basketball with a big man. He'll have Embiid's a great player, so he's going to have his great games. But when it comes to winning, when you need to win in the playoffs, I just think it's tough for a big man the way they can play a big. To me, it's easier to take things away and game plan for a big man than it is for a guard. That's just how I feel. It's easy to take things away.
I think in history it has been because you don't have big men that can do the things that he could do. I mean, if he's left on isolation, he could take another big man off the dribble. He could shoot over him. He could step back, shoot on him, and all that other stuff. Even though that's not what we really want him to do, but he definitely needs a point guard. He definitely needs a point guard to really man when he's going out of control. He need a point guard that's going to come and say, "I'll give me the ball. I got it."
I agree with both of y'all on that tip. I think his shooting ability and his athleticism, not as good as Giannis, but like how Giannis kind of had changed the view and perception of somebody that big leading the team and win the championship because he's a cold-blooded freak. But Embiid ain't far as regards to the variety of ways that he can score as well, which puts him in a class of his own, be honest with you.
But y'all do understand that tonight, Embiid really played offense. Like, he didn't have to worry about defending anybody that was dominant scoring. So it was an easy game for him. Like
no game is easy. No game is easy in the NBA.
For
no game
Joel Embiid, this was an easier game because he wasn't sticking anybody that was putting pressure on. Like, his biggest issue is those big heavy.
I agree with that.
Okay,
but I'm putting pressure on him in what way? Somebody that could score, or are you just saying somebody that's big and strong?
Somebody big and strong and that could score. Like the Lopez is like Friday.
I mean, Marketing averaging 22 points a game this year, 22 points and 8 rebounds. So I mean, he can score.
But with tonight, he wasn't.
Because Embiid. Yeah.
All right.
Embiid did his thing, man.
Friday,
Embiid did his thing.
Like Friday, Friday we play the Bucks, and I don't know. We got a whole week off, which is weird. But we don't play again until Friday. So
actually played bad for real.
Yeah, that's probably why B played the back-to-back.
Yeah,
it definitely is.
So
definitely is.
You know how last time, like Lopez had a really good game, and Giannis had a good game. Now we got to see like how effective can you be when you're playing against somebody who's going to match you offensively, and then they also going to be sticking you tight defensively. Then I want to see, are you going to still have that?
What did he do against them last time when we lost by 3 points?
Because
we only lost to them by 3 points.
We lost just like we lost to them the last time we played them last year. We keep losing to them. We got to beat them.
I don't think we did lose the last time we played them last year.
That's how Embiid lost that MVP last year because he let Giannis come and do his thing and block the shot.
No, he lost MVP.
That wasn't the last game that we played him last year.
I'm saying he lost the MVP that game. That night when Giannis came.
I don't think that was the last game we played him though. I think we played him again after that, didn't we?
No, that was the end of the season.
I think that was the last time we played.
Yep.
But
and to be completely, this team really ain't had nobody to guard Embiid. But that's not Embiid's fault.
That's what I said.
That's not Embiid's fault.
It's not.
You do what you're gonna do, and you crush whoever in front.
I mean, yeah, but that's why I say that, because when we see Giannis take 2 steps from the free throw line and dunk on people, we don't ever make that excuse. Oh, it wasn't nobody letting him. Everybody just praising. He's so dominant. He doing this. It's all this praise heaped upon Giannis when he dunking on people from the half court or from the free throw line, rather. So I'm not going to do that with Ethan.
And hold up, against Atlanta, Atlanta got the big bodies, got bodies that lean on them, compelling them, right? Didn't he drop 42 on them last night?
They got
didn't he drop 26 on them a couple nights before that?
And they beat us. Well, all right, Ethan and Ephraim, this applies to y'all too. Remember how, and I'm gonna give y'all credit for this. Remember we was saying, Ben don't gotta do this. Y'all was like, I'm not worried about Ben now. I'm worried about Ben in the playoffs and everything y'all seen this fool's goal. Sure enough, it happened where Ben got exposed in the playoffs, and we was saying, okay, as long as Ben keep doing this, that's what I'm talking about as far as Embiid.
Now, Embiid a little different though, because
it's not different because we can't get past the second round.
I agree, but first of all, you should have a better supporting cast with this is why you got Harden. This is why you got Harden, so everything won't be on Embiid, and this is why you're supposed to be developing Tyrese Maxey. So did y'all talk about that bum PJ Tucker?
No, you can go ahead because there have been a lot of comments about him in there.
You talked about it.
Get into it. You can get into it.
Did y'all see this bull stat line? Tell y'all about this.
He had 1 rebound and no points, right? Was that what it was?
Yo, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Way too many
he's active, though. He's very active.
Come on,
that's still way too many minutes.
Why is Harrell still in the doghouse? Why is he in the doghouse?
Because you paid PJ Tucker more money. At the end of the day, that's what I'm telling you. It comes down to a lot of we know the game. It comes down to a lot of politics. It's like the reason why JJ Arcega-Whiteside got so many chances with the Eagles, because he was a #1 draft, or what he went high #2 or something. When you go high, you get chance. He might have been #1. I can't remember where he was, a 1 or 2. Wherever he was, it was high enough for them to take their time with him and really try to work with him. They're gonna do the same thing with PJ. You brought him in. He was probably our #1 free agent signing, and this is what you got to do now. You got to try to squeeze every dollar that you paid him out of him before you send him to the bench.
But sometimes
so get used to PJ.
Didn't he say he's gonna start cutting back Tucker minutes? But one that a whole press conference he had, and dude got 30 minutes tonight. 30 minutes. Did he even get a steal? 2 fouls. He had 1 steal. How you get a turnover and you don't even get a shot up? How do you get a turnover and you don't get a shot up?
Yeah.
He didn't get a shot up all night?
No. He didn't get 1 shot up.
That's interesting.
I'm tired of excuses for this dude. I told you he can only be hit on teams where the offense can really, like Milwaukee, they really had a good offense flowing. They had shooters. They had Middleton, they had Giannis. They hit that dude on offense. He got hit. Right now, the way the Sixers are, he can't play 30 minutes and have 0 points. He just can't do it.
Can I address Tim real quick? Can I address Tim real quick with something? Because you know how you want to talk about Embiid against Milwaukee last year. Well, in the game where he got the last second shot blocked and we lost by 2, Embiid actually shot 60%. He scored 29 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists in this game that you're talking like they manhandled Embiid and shut him down.
Did we lose the game?
What you mean when he got the rebound to put a rebound putback that got blocked? Yes, we did. But don't sit there and make it like Embiid wasn't dominant.
That's the game that he lost the MVP. That's what I'm saying.
But that was the game you was trying to. Everybody was. But
you was trying to say when he goes against these bigger and better teams, and Embiid lit them up the game before that. So
I mean, think about it. He was struggling. That was the year that Lopez's back was out, and Lopez wasn't even playing. So now I'm talking about Lopez is healthy. He's going to be against a big Lopez, where Embiid doesn't even defend Giannis until like the 4th quarter. It's him and Lopez going back and forth, and Embiid won't jump out on Lopez. So Lopez is hitting nothing but 3-pointers, killing us. That's going to be an issue if we don't get it together.
This how Tim reaching.
Listen, I see a lot of talk about Embiid and Giannis and who better. I mean, in all honesty,
I can't put Embiid over Giannis yet.
I can't put Embiid over Giannis yet. Giannis done put too much work in. He didn't work this team, Granted, he got a favorable couple of breaks, but I think that's happened to a lot of. If you go through history, the last 10, 15 championships, you could probably break down 12 of them and say the teams who won got a favorable break throughout their playoff run to get them there. But Giannis did what he had to do, and when he got there, he went off against the Suns when they was down 2-0. He went off, brought them all the way back, and they won in 6 games. So Giannis is the man right now. You can't take that away from as regards big men.
Yeah, he was putting up 50-point games in the championship.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
he did his thing. But B, I mean, he definitely putting a stamp on this year. He a couple more games like this, or just a couple more consistent games, and us getting back to the top ranks of the East. B gonna be in the MVP conversation again for the third year in a row.
If he keep playing like this, he will.
Oh,
he will. I can't even knock him. I just want to see if him and Harden get that.
I'm worried about
cohesiveness. Him and
But
Harden.
I think him and Harden did have the cohesiveness, though. I think they did have the cohesiveness.
I don't like the way the offense flowed when they was in the game earlier in the season.
Our biggest problem in the earlier part of the season was the bench. We had absolutely nothing coming off of the bench.
We ain't have none from our starters either. We was 1-4.
Yeah, we was 1-4. A lot of times we was losing leads. Our bench, that was the whole problem. Nobody was doing nothing off the bench. Remember we was talking about the only person that was doing anything was Melton. Like we had zero.
He wasn't even playing nobody off the bench.
Our benches was getting killed.
He wasn't playing nobody off the bench.
I gotta look at Giannis' best stat line because MOC said he never had a stat line like this. I'll beg to differ. Giannis has some incredible stat lines.
Even if he did, Giannis has done it in the playoffs. Embiid has never put up a stat line like this in the playoffs.
Jeez, what's up?
I can agree with that too. Now, if he does, and we got some, if he does, and he takes us to at least to the championship, I'm not even saying he got to win it. A lot goes into winning the championship. If he does and carries us to a title, and then or carries to the championship, and then we'll see how that play out. Then we can start having that conversation. But I honestly think it's too soon to have that conversation. With Giannis doing what he did already.
How do you post comments? I want to post this one by Kev Scott. Tim, post that for me.
Gotta be a no.
But this was the game we needed.
There you go. I'll do it for you.
This was no, there you go. Wayne got this. Look at him.
You should have never gave me the chair. You should have never gave me the chair yesterday.
This was a huge game. The number 1 seed in the West. We came out, showed I was at home, so that helped us out. This is huge going forward, especially without Harden too, to beat the number 1 team. And they number 1 team for a reason. They play defense, they hustle, they score, they do their thing. They not sweet by no means. It's not by mistake. They just good. They balling.
They'll be in the middle of the pack by the end of the year. Trust me.
Who will?
Utah.
You saying Utah?
Yeah. They'll be in the
But see, you crack me up with that because then you get all hype about Toronto. Oh, I'm worried about Toronto. I'm scared of Toronto.
They got a bunch of athletes.
They do got some athletes.
It is about matchups sometimes, and we match up good against them for some reason. And it's because the way Harden plays, them athletes, they be ping-ponging Harden shots all over the place, too. They give Harden fits.
Yep.
Yeah, they do. I mean,
well, Styles, honestly, we could talk about where to improve. Where do you think we want to improve at? Like, this team is where it is. The biggest point is Doc got to know when to – good coaches know when to play who. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't always have to have like stud players on the bench, but they get a good feel for the game. I worry sometimes about Doc's feel for the game. Like, I don't think he'll sit there and say, well, this is what I always do. I'm going to go with this. Some good coaches have had something, then out of nowhere be like, you know what? Let's try this, that, and other and run stuff out like that. But I'm still not worried about the Sixers so much because as long as Harden comes back playing similar to what he was before he went out, I think Maxi's going to get more consistent when Harden gets back. I think Maxi's still showing flashes of who he is and can be, and I think Embiid showing how dominant he is.
My only problem is this doesn't save Doc's job.
If he wins, I'm okay. It's just, I want him to win.
Doc, we all know Doc's. We'll see what happens, but his not making adjustments in the playoffs and stuff like that. It's just that's something that he has to.
It's maddening.
And I don't know if he can get over it. Old dog, what they say, can't teach the old dog new tricks or something like that.
I mean,
Yeah.
but,
See what happens.
but at the same time, last year you lose your start. You lose a starter in the lineup with the ball. What's the ball? The yellow ball we traded.
So now you don't know his name?
Danny.
Yeah, so we lose a starter, and then after we lose the starter, then Joel gets injured. Like a lot of things happened to us last year in the playoffs, where you lose Joel for a couple of games, and then he gets injured. I mean, it was just a lot going on. Then Harden was playing hurt. Everything was against us, so I can't blame everything on Doc. But
I'll say this. I'll say this. MOC, just to go back there real quick, because I see a lot of people arguing this in the chat. Giannis, that championship game, game 6 closeout. Game 6 closeout in the championship. 50 points, 14 rebounds, 5 blocks, 2 assists. I mean, that's a monster game in the finals to close out for the win. It don't get no bigger than that.
Easy Money said Embiid is not a top 5 player. Who's the 5 you putting over him right now?
Who's the 5 best?
Now, Phil, I don't know, but Phil Evans we not athletic at all, and I think that can hurt us during the long run. Or Luka said we need a boy that can catch a oop. We don't. We just the athletic. The
Paul Reed can catch a oop. They don't ever throw him though.
He don't play enough.
We don't move enough to catch oops for some reason. I that's one thing I don't see. We don't back cut enough. Like I see us do it times here and there. We don't back cut enough to get oops. We just don't. I don't see it a lot in our offense. But I mean, I think we have players. I mean, Toby, he ain't the most athletic dude, but he's tall enough to get up there and dunk. So can, like Rain said, Paul Reed, he could get up there. Trez could get up there if he get in the game. But
I kind of agree with this statement.
Okay, so who's your top 5 then? If you agree with it, you gotta give me 5 who's better than him.
Sure, Steph. I'm gonna go with the boy from Dallas.
Luka.
Luka.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Ja Morant. I think he's better. I think Ja's better than him. I think the boys from Boston.
Tatum.
Tatum
and Green Green.
Oh yeah, Jalen Green. I got 5 people right there that I named.
Phil Evans got Morant, Tatum, Greek, Joker, and Durant.
And you got Giannis. You got Durant. I'm up to 7.
You put Luka.
I'm not putting Morant over it. I'm not taking Morant over Embiid. No. I like Morant, but I'm not taking Morant over Embiid.
All right. So right now, Durant, Luka, Steph.
I gotta do some research now.
I'm not taking Joker over Embiid. Joker, what does Joker do on defense? You tell me Embiid who could be dominant on both sides of the ball.
You can't have Morant over Curry. Curry. If your top 5 don't include Curry, is disrespectful, and I can't acknowledge it. Your top 5 has to include. And right now, in my opinion, Curry's the best player in the NBA. He's the best reigning player. Just came off a championship, a dominant final performance.
Curry like Jaylen Brown.
Best player in the NBA. So you can't. Jaylen Brown.
So if you take Embiid off this team and you plug Jaylen Brown in, the Sixers competing.
If they give us
exactly, that's what I'm saying.
If they give us that center too.
Oh, so you need a package deal. You need 2 people to do the job other than Embiid. Then
I just need some height. That's it.
Ain't no way in the world I'm taking right now Ja Morant over Joel Embiid.
Hey.
I'm not even taking, in my opinion, everybody hype. Luka's a very, very good player. Do y'all realize Luka, I think right now is shooting like 29% from 3 and he takes like 8 threes a game? You know what that means? That means he's dumb. And in a basketball sense. If you taking 8 to 9 threes a game and you shooting 29%, that means he probably single-handedly cost his team about 3 to 4 games this year. Because he can't shoot. He can't shoot the 3 and he wants to shoot the 3. Now, if Embiid was taking 5 threes and shooting 29% from 3, we'd be having a fit right now. That's what he's doing to his team. That's what he's doing.
Don't tell me about Joker's 2 MVPs. Don't tell me, because guess what? What's his name had 2 MVPs too, and that's both of them was questionable.
Steve Nash.
Yeah, Steve Nash. He had 2 MVPs in the era when you had Shaq, AI, and Kobe.
Yeah, Phil, this year Steph is top 5.
You could have easily argued that Steph Curry was MVP over Joker last year. See, sometimes that be that they want to make sure that they give a player his props because his team didn't have this, that, and other, and he was balling real hard, this, that, and other. But Joker plays his defense. This is why I put Embiid over Joker all the time, because Embiid plays both sides of the ball. I don't think that Joker can be as dominant on defense. Embiid should have been the number one defensive center last year instead of Gobert, because I'm taking Embiid's defense over Gobert's.
I'm taking Joker. I might take Joker over Embiid.
I'm taking Joker.
Yeah, because all y'all think about is offense.
I'm not taking Joker.
The Joker played all the games last year.
Luka is not as, and listen, I'm telling you, first of all, I promise y'all, do y'all watch Luka? Y'all just watch the stats. Luka's a good player. First of all, Luka gets a very favorable whistle. He get a Jordan-esque whistle. I promise y'all. I watch a lot of West Coast games because I'm up watching Golden State at nighttime. So I got the NBA app and I go back and forth. Luka gets a lot of favorable calls. This is why I'm telling y'all, they not winning the championship no time soon. If the only way Dobbs win the championship, he going to have to parade him to the line like they tried to do with Golden State when Wiggins was strapping him.
Luka 34, 8, and 8. He's the same stats that Wayne was trying to give to Harden.
How many times Luka go to the line again? What's Luka free throw shooting the game?
34, 8, and 8. Hold on.
What's Luka's defense?
He probably don't
shoot times a day though.
He shoot 11 a game. Probably the same.
11 what? How many free throws?
11.
Okay, this is what I'm talking about. A player, how many 3-point shooters, how many 3-point shots does Luka take a game?
8.
He takes 8 3-point shots a game, right? This is a majority of perimeter player. Now he goes inside, but he's taking 11 free throws a game as much as Joel Embiid. This is insane. This is like y'all gotta watch the game.
I don't know how many Joel taking. Be honest with
you. 11 free throws a game for a guard who shoots 8 3-pointers. That tells you his whistle is extremely favorable. Let's not be confused. Trust me. Luka gets a lot of help from the refs, and he gets a lot of help from the league. They want Luka to be that bull. They want him to. I'm not saying he's not special. He got skills. He could pass. He could ball. But trust me when I tell y'all, if he didn't get paraded to the line, he would not be averaging 30 points a game for one.
Yeah, he would 34. He the lead.
He wouldn't even have scored 31 game against Golden State if he didn't get. He shot about 14 or 15 free throws at least twice in that series. That 40-point game everybody's talking about, he shot I think 17 free throws that game. Wiggins was strapping Luka. His field goal percentage was terrible. His 3-point percentage was suspect. He's good, but he's not as great as y'all think he is. Y'all can keep hyping him up, and he's gonna keep doing the same thing. He's gonna keep getting ousted. He's a baller. He's a baller that's gonna keep getting put out. Trust me, because he's not as good as everybody think he is. If he's not getting that favorable whistle, his game will fall apart worse than James Harden's did. I promise you that. Just like when everybody was saying Harden went on them 30-point streaks, but Harden was shooting 15, 16 free throws a game, and he went on the most 30-point games ever. As soon as they started calling that whistle like they should have, his stat line disappeared. Luka's will do the same as soon as they start calling them calls. I'll stop calling them calls. I promise y'all that. He is a flopper, Phil. Luka's a flopper, and they give him a lot of calls. It's so annoying.
You done with your rant?
Y'all can pipe him up if y'all want. Y'all can pause. Y'all can hype him up if y'all want. Y'all can hype him up if y'all want. But I'm telling y'all now, he's not as good as y'all think he is.
Luka is better than Harden. I will say.
Luka is definitely better than Harden
at this point, but not
at this point. And Harden at his best, him and Luka the same player, and I'll probably take Harden. Houston Harden, I'm probably going with Houston Harden because he's a better 3-point shooter than Luka. Luka's 29% from 3 this year. Go check the stats.
Embiid do flop. Look, see, that's what I like about Embiid too. Embiid flop.
Embiid just fall. Luka's a flopper. Embiid falls. Luka does a lot of flopping. Oh, and crying. Oh my goodness, I ain't never seen nobody cry as much as Luka. He is a cry baby of epic proportions. But that's the here nor there. The bottom line is B had one of the monster performances we ever seen in recent regular season history, and that's not even just for the Sixers. This performance was dominant. All-time dominant stat line in every facet of the game. Rebounds, blocks, assists, and scoring was incredible, and his field goal percentage was crazy. And so was his free throw percentage.
He definitely had the team on his back tonight.
He did.
With a little help from Maxey, but he definitely had the team on his back.
On the second half of a back-to-back.
Maxey at least
did bottle whole game off of Harden. He did. I'm taking prime Harden over Luka any day, my opinion. But A lot of people see a lot of people get fascinated with he European, he's 6'8", and all this, and they see the stat line and they keep running his name on Sports Center. Luka. Yeah, I watch the games. Luka be going to the line a whole lot. That's where his stat line comes from.
Well, when he was going in the line against Golden State, when they stopped giving them calls, what happened?
His game fell apart and they lost. I'm telling y'all, as soon as they stopped calling, look at the stat line for them Golden State series. As soon as they stopped calling them calls, he had 20 points the first game when he only went to the free throw line like 8 times. As soon as he had that 40-point game, he went to the free throw line 7 times. Trust me, I watched the game. A lot of them calls were suspect too. Very questionable. But that's neither here nor there. It was a great game. I'm getting tired. It's 11 o'clock. I got to get ready to turn it down.
We'll be back on tomorrow for Eagles Monday night matchup.
Monday night.
Right. Cowboys lost.
Yeah, we home. We home in DC.
Home, I believe.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yeah, Cowboys lost. I didn't even know. I just seen that in the comment section. Last time I saw it was in overtime. I didn't know what the outcome of that game was. Yeah, Philly J. Houston Hart was special. He was special. I'll give it to you. He got a lot of favorable whistles, though. He was very, very crafty with getting the call. Kind of like Luka. Luka did pattern his game after Harden, but Harden his three was good. I think he was probably around 30, around 35, 36% shooting the three, and he shot a lot of them, so that's pretty good. His three was pretty nice.
Yeah, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button.
But we home. All right, Herb. Thank you for that. Yeah. All right. Oh, that day, yeah. The link gonna be lit. Gonna be lit.
So I'll be me and Wayne on here tomorrow.
Might be. You might be right. I just educated y'all about Luka. Watch Luka and not the highlights. Watch the game, not the highlights. That determines how good. Let your eyes really tell you how good this dude really is.
All right,
y'all might be surprised.
Like, comment, subscribe. We catch y'all on tomorrow's podcast. We out.
Deuces.